Today we are showcasing an add-on to Adobe's flagship web content management system, Adobe Experience Manager. Airstone has partnered with Adobe to develop an AEM add-on called SIFT for Secure Integrated File Transfer. SIFT is a document scanning and tagging engine designed to ensure that all digital assets are properly identified and tagged based on their content. SIFT augments the content publishing capabilities of Adobe AEM by scanning files at import time against a centrally maintained list of keywords, including words related to document classification and content. Any discovered keywords are added to the document's metadata to facilitate enterprise search, content targeting, and attribute-based access control. SIFT was originally designed to support the sensitive data handling needs of the United States intelligence community. However, every organization has information that it considers sensitive, including proprietary or confidential data and customer information. This includes data in searchable files like Word or Acrobat documents, as well as non-searchable files like scanned PDFs or images. SIFT easily handles all of these use cases invisibly to the end user. As you can see, SIFT has been integrated into the AEM Administrative Console. Clicking the SIFT link launches the password-protected login to the SIFT application, which can run on any server in the enterprise, including the AEM server itself. We log in as an administrator and select the configuration screen. Within SIFT, we first define the enclaves that are relevant to the environment. In this example, we've created two enclaves, JWIX and SIPRNet. For the purposes of this demo, we're imagining that this system is running on a JWIX-facing network. Once we've defined our enclaves, we can create our keywords. These are the keywords that SIFT is currently configured to scan for. SIFT supports two kinds of keywords: static keywords, which are scanned for explicitly, as well as dynamic keywords, which represent text patterns, such as credit card numbers or employee ID numbers. Dynamic keywords are composed using commonly used regular expression or regex syntax. In this case, we've defined two static keywords, Sentinel and Magnolia, which represent our imaginary special access programs. We've also defined two dynamic keywords. The first pattern will find any word beginning with the letters LAB, such as Labrador or laboratory, and the second pattern will find social security numbers. SIFT also allows specifying an alias for a keyword, which is especially useful for dynamic expressions. In this case, we're instructing SIFT to stamp the term SSN on any asset containing a social security number rather than stamping the number itself. Finally, we've identified the enclaves to which each keyword pertains. We can see that some keywords are allowed in both enclaves, whereas other keywords are restricted to the JWIX network. These assignments would allow SIFT to be used as part of a workflow for transferring assets between enclaves, such as in conjunction with a high assurance guard. Adding additional keywords is also quick and painless. Here we're adding the keyword treadstone and assigning it to the JWIX enclave. For our demo today, we've created 3 test files: a Word document, an Adobe Acrobat document, and a JPEG file. To import these files, we select Assets and Upload Assets. We select our 3 files and click Open. In the background, SIFT is now scanning each of these documents against the list of defined keywords and stamping each file with the appropriate metadata. First, let's take a quick look at the files that we just uploaded. The first file is a searchable Word document, which contains a social security number. The second file is a scanned PDF document, which was scanned in from hard copy. You can see that the text in the file is visible, but not searchable. The last file is a picture image file, which you can see contains classification markings that correspond to the static keywords that we defined in SIFT. Back in SIFT, in AEM, we can try searching for the documents that we just uploaded. First, we'll search for one of our static keywords. We can see that it pulls up our picture file. If we examine the metadata on the file, you can see that it stamped the file with the Capco markings that we defined. Next, we'll try searching for one of our dynamic keywords. You can see that our scanned PDF document was picked up and also labeled with a word that begins with LAB. In this case, we didn't define an alias for that regex pattern, so it actually stamped the specific word that it found that matched the pattern. And then finally, we can scan for our social security number alias, which you can see was also stamped on the metadata of the file. Note that we've actually used our own custom attribute, SIFT, for all of this stamping, which AEM automatically indexes on import. We created our own metadata tag rather than stamping an existing standard tag like subject or description to avoid potentially overwriting existing metadata. However, the tool can be customized to write to any preferred metadata tag. In all three cases, we should note that we have essentially turned unsearchable document content into searchable text. Once tagged, AEM automatically indexed our keywords, which ultimately supports a number of use cases that we've discussed, including content and metadata publishing, user content targeting, cross-domain data transfer, and attribute-based access control. This demonstration very effectively highlights one of just several scenarios for AEM SIFT integration. To implement this functionality that we demonstrated, we modified a default AEM workflow, which manages the digital asset import process. We used out-of-the-box AEM workflow editing capabilities to add a SIFT asset scanning step immediately prior to the default metadata extraction step. AEM's visual workflow designer makes it incredibly easy to develop these custom workflows based on a variety of popular languages, including Java or Ruby. The configuration of the SIFT workflow itself is very straightforward. First, we chose our process, which was previously uploaded to the AEM server, and then defined the arguments that our workflow requires, the first being the REST endpoint for the SIFT service, the second being the network currently defined for our scanning. Given the robustness of the AEM environment, there are certainly other workflows where SIFT scanning might be useful, especially for AEM repositories that may already contain large amounts of untagged data, or to control the transfer of data between network enclaves with different security classifications, or perhaps to publish metadata for content to community partners. Really, the possibilities are somewhat endless depending on use cases and business process. We hope you've enjoyed our demonstration today. We invite you to visit www.airstone.com/SIFT or email sift@airstone.com for more information.